Welcome everyone to HueFin News. Today is November the 25th, 2017, and this is our daily cryptocurrency market analysis, whereby we are giving you the price movement, price projections for the major cryptocurrencies through the price bars and the volume. And as we've been saying over the last couple of videos, last couple of weeks, it is imperative for everyone to understand the language of the markets prior to trading. It tells you, it gives you the emotion, the feel of the market, to tell you the mentality of the individuals who are involved in trading. And you could tell all of that through just the price bars and the volume. That's how important this language is. And we are the only ones who has been able to analyze these cryptocurrencies through the price bars and the volume, through the interpretation of the language of the markets. And that's one of the things that we contribute to the community, to the world, to show you that the average, that the novice, that the beginning or the beginner investor can actually understand where prices are going to go for any of the markets, equities, whether it's commodities, whatever the case may be. Once you learn this language, you too will become more confident and as well be more profitable in your trading, because you can see what is occurring on the charts before the news or anything else comes out in the market about a certain particular security. So with all that being said, you guys need to understand this language and learn it for your benefit. So now let's go ahead and go on and see what occurred today in the markets. So the euphoria is still there in the cryptocurrency market. A lot of the altcoins and even Bitcoin shot higher today, which is always a positive sign. And even some of the altcoins are now back at the highs that occurred way back a couple of months ago. And I'll point that out as we go to some of these altcoins to show you that they are now at another area of resistance that caused a major downtrend in the market. And I'm not saying that that's what's going to occur this time, but we're just now trading at that area again. And you can see that the market cap is now at $280 billion, and yesterday was at 265. So the money continues to flow into the cryptocurrency space, which is always a good sign. And sooner or later, once the majority of everyone becomes aware of this new digital currency and everyone begins to invest, and then once the futures starts trading on some of these cryptocurrencies, you need to be more watchful as to the market moving lower. And we will be that first place to where you guys would become aware of the market changing its tone before, and then you can evaluate your own particular strategy and get out the market with your profits. But we are not investment advisors, and we are not giving you investment advice. Okay. So you can see that Bitcoin made all-time highs today. They're up 5.83%. Ethereum also ended the day a little lower, down 1%. Bitcoin Cash is down 4.25. Ripple is up 3.66. Bitcoin Gold is down 7.22. I'm gonna have to add them to our analysis. You guys can see that Dash is up 12.20%. Litecoin is also up 13.93. Monero's up 4.23. Neo finally shot up today, up 9.49, and Ethereum Classic is up 4.03. So you guys can kind of see that the behemoth, the mammoth Bitcoin and its stepbrothers, or I could say, or the Bitcoin and his sons, are now edging higher, and sooner or later might even get to become 1, 2, and 3, just like the Trinity. You guys can see that Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Bitcoin Gold are in the top 5, and that is something that might have to be contend with later on in the future. And even for the novice investors, it might be a pretty good thing to evaluate and research these cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Gold, to see what makes them so different compared to their father Bitcoin. And then you might want to see which one out of the 3 can outlast the other 2. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and go into the Bitfinex website and see where these cryptocurrencies are likely to be moving. So Bitcoin is up 6.96%. Last trade was at $8,763.60. And there you guys have it. Bitcoin made all-time highs today in the Bitfinex exchange. The market closed towards the high of the bar, and this is a very strong precursors of strength bar, which tells us that Bitcoin is going to continue to move higher. That analysis is awfully easy. We're forecasting them to continue to move higher, and in the event that they do move lower, you guys can expect Bitcoin to at least come back down to $8,680. And if that is not going to hold, then it could come back towards $8,625. Okay, so if Bitcoin is going to move lower, those are the two areas that we're expecting Bitcoin to come and touch. But overall, we're expecting Bitcoin to move higher. So now let's go to Ethereum. So Ethereum is down 2.22%. Last trade was at $463.20. So Ethereum made all-time highs today again on the Bitfinex exchange. The market made a high today of $483, but the market could not maintain higher prices, and the market closed lower than the closing yesterday. So if I break this down to a smaller time frame, we can see what is going to occur in Ethereum. So the market overall may come all the way back down to $460, or maybe even a little lower than that, about $457. But you guys can see that on these 1 hour bars that Ethereum is trading sideways, and we need to see precursors of strength right in this area. If we do not get precursors of strength right in between around $460, then you guys can expect Ethereum to come down to $450, and then overall might need to come down to $440. And right now we don't have any precursors of strength reflecting or showing itself in Ethereum at the moment. So we're still expecting them to move lower in the short term, and it might come all the way back down to $455. But we are initially looking for $460 for Ethereum to come and give us some precursors of strength. And if it doesn't, then we're looking for $455 or even $450 to make an entry point for Ethereum. So overall, Ethereum, like we said, it's going to be moving lower, and we already gave you those price projections for Ethereum to come and touch, and it might even come all the way back up to the highs of today, which was around $483 as well. But that's the sideways trading action for Ethereum that we are giving you. So now let's go to Bitcoin Cash. So Bitcoin Cash is down 2.22%. Last trade was at $1,558.50. So we told you that overall from this precursors of strength bar that the market shot up, but it was able to keep the prices around that $1,800 area. So the market moved lower again on today, but the volume is extremely light, and as well, the market only hovered around that $1,500 area. And that's what we forecasted yesterday in our video, and that's a pretty good thing to see, that due to the market closing lower than the day before yesterday, the 23rd, and the market still came down to the low from yesterday, kind of tells us that either the market participants are still here transacting and doing the business of buying and selling, or the market's going to shoot higher on tomorrow. So now let's move it to a smaller time frame and see what we're looking for in Bitcoin Cash. So we're still looking for Bitcoin Cash to move lower, and it might come all the way down to $152 initially, and we are looking for precursors of strength bars here around $152 before Bitcoin Cash will move higher, because this last bar that has just formed is a precursor of weakness. It is a push to go down bar, and the volume is also heavy or average compared to the last two bars. which tells us that the market is still active within that price range doing business, which tells us that at least the market may come back down to $152. And if the market is still giving us weakness, expected to come down $148. And until we get a precursors of strength bar for Bitcoin Cash, the market is not going to be moving higher. And then it looks like $160. I'm sorry, $1,600 is an area of resistance for Bitcoin Cash. Ultimately, it's $1,640 is the area of resistance that Bitcoin Cash will have to break through in order for them to move higher. So you guys can also keep that in your mind as well. So in the short term, we're simply saying that we're looking for Bitcoin Cash to move lower, and we told you around 1520 or even 1480 as a low. And then if it does move higher, expected to go back up to $1,640. And then ultimately, if the market comes back in stronger than what we actually are forecasting, then it can come all the way back up to 1,680. So now let's go to Ripple. So Ripple is up 3.57%. Last trade was at 24 cents, almost 25, and the market moved higher from our analysis yesterday as we forecasted. Ripple did and moved in that direction. The market actually made all the way up to almost 25.5 cents, but you guys can see that stockpile came in on the bar today, and as well the volume is larger than the last 2 days. So at least we're looking for Ripple to continue to trade sideways, and ultimately it still might try to come up to 26 cents, but we are going to acknowledge the stockpile that came on the bar. So 24 cents is a definite area that Ripple can come and touch. If not that, it might come down to 23 as well. But in the short term, we're still expecting Ripple to at least trade sideways, and that's going to be between 24 and 26 cents. But overall, you guys can see that the buyers are definitely in control of the market, only slightly, not as much as we would like to see due to the volume being lighter than the last 2 days. If the volume was about the same or even higher, then that would definitely tell us that the buyers are in control, and we are not necessarily getting that at the moment. So that's why we are acknowledging that Ripple can come back down to 24 cents. So now let's go to Litecoin. So Litecoin is up 14.30%. Last trade was at $88.40. And this is a definite precursors of strength bar, just like what it was yesterday. We told you that Litecoin is going to be making higher highs, and that is going to move higher. And we have received that on today. And the market shot all the way up to $89.39. And that is almost back towards the highs that occurred on the 1st and the 2nd of September. And that's what I was talking about early on in this video, that some of these altcoins are now trading right back towards the highs that occurred in the previous months. So you guys can see the result of what occurred on those 2 days for Litecoin. And we're not saying that's going to happen again for Litecoin, but the market is now trading right around that area again. But this bar is definitely a lot stronger than the previous bars, and the volume as well is a little lighter than what it was on the 2nd and the 1st of September. But we're still acknowledging the fact that Litecoin is still going to try to move higher, and ultimately might try to come back to the high from the 2nd of September, which was around $93.71. So it might come in or around that area. And we do acknowledge the fact that the market did close off of the highs. So for that fact, you know, we got to show you where Litecoin can possibly move lower. So Litecoin is running the probability of coming back down to $87 or even 86 in the short term. But given the strength of that daily price bar, we are expecting Litecoin to move higher. But in the event it does move lower, expect it to come to $86 or even $84. Okay. So now let's go to Dash. So DAS is also up 10.58%. Last trade was at $632.36. So Dash continues to make higher highs. The market definitely shot higher today, and it did make an all-time high according to Bitfinex with $655.74, which we forecasted on our video yesterday. So this is not a surprise to us for Dash moving to all-time highs again. And we do see stockpile on this bar, so we are going to show you where Dash runs the prospect or the probability of moving to, because the market is definitely in a precursors of weakness mode right now. The last 3 bars, including this one, is giving us more precursors of weakness than strength, and the market originally may come to 630 or even 625 to find support, and the market will move higher from that point. You guys can see that the volume has dropped substantially compared to this particular bar. The last 2 bars, even the one that's forming now, is a lot lighter. So it kind of tells us that the selling in this particular area might have been consumed, and then Dash will move higher from that point. But if it is going to move lower, expect it to come to 630 to even 625 or even 620, given the magnitude of the volume that occurs over the next coming bars. Given the fact that the volume is drying up, will let it lead us to know, to show you that it might come just down to 630 and then move higher, or even 625. But given the daily price chart, we're still forecasting Dash to move higher. It might just come back to the high from today, but overall the market may move sideways. So now let's go to NEO. So NEO is up 9.52%. Last trade was at $38.01. So the daily price chart, you guys can see that NEO came all the way back and touched the high that occurred on the 7th of September, according to this Bitfinex website. And we have more stockpile on today's bar, but it came and closed right here towards the high from the 2nd of October, which is a pretty good sign. Let us know that the buyers are still active and in control of trying to push NEO higher. But as always, we have to give you where NEO can possibly move lower for the fact that stockpile is on this daily price chart. So the market has just been trading sideways over the last couple of hour bars for NEO, and it's been going between $37.50 all the way up to $39.50. So the market right now is giving us more precursors of weakness, and the market look like it's going to come and touch $37.50, maybe even a little lower, maybe even 37 even. But overall, the market is not necessarily giving us the indication that it wants to move lower past $37, right? So our analysis for them to at least trade sideways to that point between $37 and maybe shoot higher to around 40. So that's the range that we're giving NEOs for them to trade sideways, and that's between $37 and $40. But given the fact that NEO did not necessarily move lower, it does run slightly more, has a slighter edge to moving higher. So now let's go to Ethereum Classic. So Ethereum Classic is down 0.49%. Last trade was at $21.28. And you guys can see that Ethereum Classic also came to the highs from the 1st and the 2nd of September. And the market has got hit. A lot of stockpile came in on today's bar that even came back to the highs from yesterday, and as well as the 12th of November. So the volume is also pretty heavy, letting us know that majority of the volume today was selling occurring in the market, and the market will only move higher if the buyers were there at that price around $21, buying up all of the selling that occurred today. And if not, then the market's going to move lower. And with that being said, let's see where Ethereum Classic can move lower to. So first area, you guys can automatically see that it's going to come to $21, because this push to go down bar, these last two push to go down bars tells us that the market is not interested in higher prices, and it broke through that $21.50 area. So the next area that it can come is $21, and then ultimately it might come down to $20.50, and then we might find some precursors of strength here and Ethereum Classic will move higher. But we are not forecasting Ethereum Classic to move higher than what occurred on this bar, which was around $22.76, because the market over the last hours, couple of hour bars, is not giving us precursors of strength. The market's not moving higher. So we're looking for Ethereum Classic to move lower, and we told you it's going to be $21 first, and then $20.50, and ultimately might come down to $20 if the market is really giving us more precursors of weakness, and the volume is also increasing as Ethereum Classic moves lower. So the last one we are going to show you for today is going to be Monero. So Monero is up 5.37%. Last trade was at $168.08. And Monero almost came back to the highs that occurred on the 22nd and 23rd of November. We are still getting stockpile on this bar as well. And we are going to show you where Monero runs the prospect of coming down, moving lower on the 1 hour chart. So looking at the 1 hour chart, you guys can see that Monero had a hard time going through $170, and the market came all the way back down to 165, which was a very key support area for Monero. And you guys can see that the market has been hovering right above $166 over the last 3 hour bars. But for every bar, we are getting stockpile for Monero as it's moving higher. And eventually the market may come back up to around 168, 170 and move lower again. But it is a good sign to see that Monero is trying to maintain price. But given the amount of volume that occurred on this particular bar on the 22nd, kind of tells us it's going to take a lot of volume and a push to go up bar in order for Monero to break through all of this selling that occurred during this time period. And if we don't get that, then Monero would continue to trade sideways to lower. Okay, so that's between 170 and even all the way back down to 164 if Monero's going to trade sideways. Now if it's going to move higher, we're telling you already what you need to see. It is going to be a push to go up bar with volume backing that push to move higher. If we do not get a push to go up bar right here around $170, then Monero will not be moving higher. And you heard that first here on HueFin News. So looking at the daily price chart for Monero, Monero needs to give us a push to go up bar from where it currently is trading to break through $170 for them to move higher. And then on top of that, we need to have the volume back in that move, meaning that the volume has to be higher than what it was today in order for Monero to stay above $170. And it looked like it's trying to make it happen, but given the amount of volume and selling that occurred, even with the stockpile on today's bar, it might move lower. So that's all we have for today. Appreciate you guys watching. Continue to stay profitable, continue to learn, gain that confidence in the market. And you can do that here by watching this channel, watching our videos to become more edified and understanding in how the markets really work. So that's all we have for today. Appreciate you guys watching. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later.